This is the U2 wireless system from Xvive. It's a plug-and-play system, no license needed, comes in at around $100 or thereabouts, so it's not expensive, it's not cheap. But is it any good? In this video, I'm going to take all the specs that Xvive have claimed and put them to the test, and we're starting now. Before I do any of the test, here's the box, and it's pretty sturdy, so if you wanted to, you could keep it in that box when you're gigging. You'd do perfectly fine with it. Let's crack it open and see what's inside the box. Congratulations on my purchase. Full disclosure, I didn't buy it. Xvive sent it to me, so that's not mine. I don't deserve that. Here are our units. So we've got two units. Hopefully one is a transmitter and one is a receiver, and that there is our charging cable. You can see that's the transmitter because it says U2 transmitter on it. And this one must be therefore the receiver, and it says receiver on it. That's cool. There's the transmitter and receiver, so guitar and amp. Let's start from zero. So let's switch them off by using the power switch on the side. Power them on, like so. And they're going to start searching for each other. So let's find out how to set them to the same channel. On the transmitter and on the receiver, there are two silver buttons just here. Let's look at the transmitter first and say we want channel... Oh, I pressed it. That means it's on channel 1. Press it again. Now it's on channel 2 because the blue light is flashing twice. Press it again. We'll get 3. 1, 2, 3. That's channel 3. Press it again. 1, 2, 3. You guessed it. 4. Channel 4. And then press it again. You'll get back to channel 1. With the receiver, you hold it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I press it again. 1. And when it's blue, when it's hard blue light, you've got a connection. Now that they're connected, I'm going to plug the receiver into the amp. There we go, into the deluxe reverb. Then I'm going to take a guitar, this Harley Benton, and plug it in to the jack socket. Wonderful. Right, everything's ready. That pops in nicely, so review part. That's going in well. Turn the amp on. The amp is on. I can hear they're connected. And that's it. It really is plug and play. Congratulations, Xvive. But now, let's put those marketing claims and specifications to the test. Firstly, Xvive say this has up to 70 feet of distance in between the transmitter and the receiver. And this is the point where it started to cut out and become unreliable. But my body is in the way of the receiver and the transmitter. It doesn't have direct line of sight. So with direct line of sight, I think it gets to about here. The next thing to test is the latency, the time it takes from the audio signal to get from the guitar transmitter to the receiver. So, what I'm going to do is use this ABY box. And I think feeling rather sneaky about this. I'm going to go into the ABY box from the guitar. Then out of A is going to be this one, the transmitter, like that. Then I'll put the receiver into my audio interface. Then I'll also run a cable from B into the audio interface as well, into the second channel, and record both at the same time. Take a look at the recording and see how out of sync they are. They will be out of sync, they won't be the same, but let's see just how much out of sync they are and if it's acceptable. Here are the two tracks that I recorded. So this one is the cable, the guitar cable from Hoser, and this one is the U2 wireless system. Let's take a listen to both, and we can also hear if there's any tonal difference at this point as well. So here's the cable. And to me, that actually sounds different. Let's have another listen. Cable. Sounds to me like there's more highs coming through the cable. That's interesting. I know this is not the test for that. We'll go into the actual test for this part in a moment. I'm just going to put an EQ on both tracks and we'll have a little look at the EQ and see what's going on. Let's put the Xvive over there and the cable there and have a look and a listen. I hear a difference. Let me know if you hear a difference in the comments section. I'm going to hear it one more time, just this beginning part. Oh no, let's do these single notes. I hear a difference. Okay, now on to the main reason I did this recording, which was checking the phase, I guess. There's the beginning of the cable waveform, and there's the beginning of the U2 waveform. This is not the most accurate way to do it, but it's a pretty good indication. I've set it at milliseconds now, so we've got 828 milliseconds right at the front. Let's zoom in a bit more. Right at the front of the cable, 828. And then right there is 834, which is 6 milliseconds. Okay, they are 6 milliseconds apart. There is a 6 millisecond latency on the Xvive U2. That's correct. The next test is the frequency range test. Xvive claimed that the U2 does from 20 Hz to 20 kHz, which is more than enough. It's more than I can hear, that's for sure. However, what we don't want is any frequencies jumping out compared to a cable. So what I'm going to do is this. Now, bearing in mind that I'm a guitar player, not a scientist, I'm using some real-world tests here. So the science is, I hope, true, but real world is more important. So I've got cable versus the U2 again. I have this contraption. So that's my phone playing a high-quality WAV file into an adapter, which is then going to send that audio down the Xvive U2 transmitter into my audio interface to the receiver. Then I'm going to do the same thing, but with a cable. Here are the two white noise files. This one was recorded in with the cable, and this one was recorded in with the U2. So I've got an EQ set up with the Pro Q3 from FabFilter, and I'm going to put the freeze mode on so it holds the frequencies. Up first, we'll listen to the cable. Be warned, it's white noise. Doesn't sound very nice. Okay, that's held there. Decent. Take a screenshot just in case. And then let's go now to the Xvive, the U2, and also bring up that EQ and put it into freeze mode. Here we go. So it is certainly passing similar frequencies to the cable. You can see it's very different. The cable seems to be more linear in its frequency, more highs coming through. I don't know what that means. I'm a guitar player, not a scientist. And then in the U2, it seems to be dropping off just a bit here. There's a little tiny plateau. Now, apparently this has 5 hours of battery life on a rechargeable lithium battery. So lithium batteries are great because you're not constantly putting batteries inside the unit. You can recharge it. It does mean that the battery has a limited number of charges. I think you're probably going to get at least 1,000 charges out of them. So if you're gigging every night, you could have it for over 3 years. That's putting it in real person's terms. But let's test how long the battery life is. What I'm going to do is leave this overnight. Well, I'm not going to do that. I did that, and it clocked in at 5.5 hours, which is half an hour more than Xvive are claiming. However, I don't really want to push it to the max because I didn't really test the distance, so maybe it uses more battery when it's further away. Therefore, I'm going to say you should be happily getting through a gig with this. So at 5.5 hours with this rather out-of-this-world, non-real-world test, what you can claim, I guess, is that 2 hours moving around stage and stuff should be perfect. And shows that I've played have never really lasted more than 3.5 hours. So I'd be happy with this for a whole show. Next up is the transmission range. It runs on 2.4 gigahertz, which you may know is the same as most Wi-Fi networks and most smartphones, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is put all my smartphone and smart accessories that use wireless next to each other and see if I can make the U2 system fail. In front of me, I have quite a menagerie, quite a collection of wireless devices. So an iPhone, an iPad, some of my other guitar wireless systems. And here I've got the Albatross plugged in to the U2, which is going in the back right there. You can see it into the Fender Deluxe. It was freaking out earlier, and even the camera was freaking out, so that might happen at some point. But right now, it's doing okay. Let's see if we can make it go doolally. Right next to these wireless devices. Okay, now it's freaking out. So you can hear that the camera's freaking out. But as soon as I move it away, it's fine again. So yeah, the camera is flashing because the camera's also on a Wi-Fi signal. It's not 100%, of course, because there's a lot going on here, but I'm giving the U2 a reliable, stable connection, even though there's lots going on. I mean, it's the best way I can test it. Yep, camera's freaking out again. Okay, I'm giving it, at this stage, a pass. Your mileage may vary. Finally, it says the U2 is suited to all stringed instruments with passive pickups and depends on the type of pickup. Sorry, it's translated incorrectly. Depends on the type of pickup for active pickups. I don't have anything with active pickups, but what I think is important is showing that it fits in certain guitars. So here is the does it fit my guitar test. Up first is the jack on the outside. So something like a Les Paul or this Tele, which we know fits because we've used it already. It fits nicely, and what I like about this setup is that pushes it in and doesn't feel like it's going to snap off. I mean, you can, of course, snap that off, but ones that just stick straight out are very snap-offable. Yes, snap-offable. Up next, the front jack on a flat guitar. So we get a chance to look at this lovely Maybach Albatross and see if it fits the U2. Of course it does. Does it fit in nicely? It does. It's probably best sort of around that angle. So it just slips over the side. It doesn't go flat, of course, but it does fit there and doesn't really get in the way of playing. Okay, that's fine. Now this Ibanez AZ does have a rather strange jack socket on it. It's just there and it goes up, which is brilliant for cables, but let's see if it fits. It does. In fact, that's probably my favourite fit so far. Hang on, look at it that way. Oh, don't show the little knock I've got in it. And it fits nicely and tightly against the body. That is the best fit I've had so far. That fits in there wonderfully. And it's out of the way. Finally, the guitar that some wireless systems don't fit with is the Strat style output. So let's check that out. In it goes, and it fits really well. It does stop if you try and put the trem arm round. So if I do it with that arm, you can see it stops there. So that could be a problem for you. But hang on, maybe if I turn it out and turn it the other way, because you can also bend it that angle. Aha! There we go. So it's still stick, but you can get it down there if you're going to pull it up like that. That shouldn't be a problem for anybody. Now, I'm sure there are other guitar output jack positions on the market, but I'd say I've covered the major 4 ones, well, major 3 plus the Ibanez AZ, which is a little bit weird, but it fits. So the Xvive U2 probably will fit your guitar. I'm giving it a high possibility. So how well did it do? I think it did pretty well. Let's review it. I've used many wireless systems in my guitar playing career, way back from one in the 90s that worked actually with no issue, but probably lost a lot of tone. I wasn't really listening. With this one, of course, being digitalized, you're going to lose something, but is it noticeable? Probably not. Ooh, dare I say that? I'm going to get in trouble then. Flame me all you want in that comment section. But if you're using it for recording, I definitely would not use this or any wireless system for actually recording. I don't use wireless system in my videos, which it would be great because I'd be so free. However, I don't think you can trust the digital system fully. I want to be connected by a cable. I want to get through all that hiss and noise into my pedals and my amps. So I wouldn't record with this. If I were doing demos and stuff, like demo recordings, absolutely, because I could sit on my couch and just play into the recorder or whatever. Or if I was doing something that didn't have to be the highest possible audio, I would go with one of these. Yes, that's not to say that this doesn't give you high quality audio. It's just to say that I feel more comfortable with a cable for recording. For live situations, I have gigged with these, with an acoustic band and an acoustic guitar, and it worked absolutely fantastically. There were no issues. It lasted the whole gig. We had 2 systems going, so 2 of these systems. It worked fine. So I was on channel 1, of course, and my friend Steve was on channel 2. No issues whatsoever. We did try and implement 2 more for microphones. That didn't go so well. So I would not recommend using more than 2 of these. Speaking of which, you can use more than one transmitter with more than one receiver, of course, but you can use more than one transmitter with the same receiver, meaning that you could plug this into your amp, like so, and have more than one guitar go into that amp, but importantly, not at the same time. I'm wagging at you now like you've done something you shouldn't. Not at the same time. So yeah, it's so you could have a single coil guitar ready to go, and then you can have a humbucker guitar ready to go. Just every time you switch it on, they have to be on the same channel, which it does save, and then you can't use them simultaneously. So you can't use 2 guitars into the same amp. That will cause confusion. But that's pretty useful if you're gigging with more than one guitar, and you can actually buy systems with 1 receiver and 2 transmitters, and there's links below if you want to do that. As I mentioned earlier, there is a lithium battery in this which has a limited number of charges, but I'm happy that for the money you spend on these, you will get enough usage out of it. If you're worrying about the charge dying off, and it does die off, then you've probably got a faulty unit and you should return it rather quickly. But if you have a fully working unit, then everything should be fine for what I think, for what you've paid for it, is more than acceptable. Build quality is good to acceptable, in the sense that if we take a look at it with this one, there we go, that does have a hinge on it. So you've got a hinge, and any moving part is susceptible to breaking, but with proper use, that thing should not break. Of course, if you drop your guitar on it, or if you have it at the wrong angle and you overbend it, oh, you've got that angle as well, a right angle. That's cool. As long as you are using it for its intended use, I don't think you should be breaking that at all. Also just noted there's a little pad on there to stop it scratching your guitar. Good idea. So, would I recommend this U2? Well, yes, I would, Andy. Thanks for asking. No, I would, in all seriously, recommend the U2 for the price. There are cheaper options available. I don't know if they're as good, worse, or better. I would say that for build quality and price, you should be spending about this money to be getting this level of transmitter and receiver quality. You can, of course, spend more money on some other system, and you will probably get more quality. So I've got a Shure system, for example. I use that live, but that is more than 4 times the price than this. 3 times, 4 times the price of this. For something that's not super professional, I would use this happily at a live gig. And that's it. That's really all I can say about the U2. If you're looking at this, wondering whether to get it, and you have the money to spend, do it. It's a good buy. Speaking of goodbye, it's time to say goodbye. But before we do, you've made it to the end of the video, which means you are now in the end of the video club. And to prove that you have made it into this prestigious elite, when you leave your comment down below the video, please include the phrase edgy. Edgy. And that'll make me laugh. And we can all join in, do some togetherness. Thanks. It is time to love you and leave you. I want to say thank you to Xvive for sending this out, sponsoring the video, and allowing me to play around and do some almost scientific stuff in the video. That was really fun. Thank you to you for watching, and there's some videos over here you could also have a little look at if you like, just over there. That's got me in it as well with some guitar geekery. Otherwise, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye!